Evelyn Taft, and Jim Hill. Weeknights on CBS 2 News.
Oh, Jesus.
There is Lamar
Week
Jackson.
15 continues in the NFL.
There's Lamar Jackson, 10-1 in December, and has thrown 19 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions in those 11 games. They host the Jags today.
Tua Tagovailoa, 9 TDs, 1 pick this season, holding on to that last playoff spot. Big game versus the Patriots today.
Phillip Rivers and the Colts look to make it 3 straight to keep up with the Tennessee Titans. And Rivers over these last 5 games, 10 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions.
And there's Tennessee quarterback Ryan Tannehill. He's got led his team to a 9-4 record. He has got the Tennessee offense. It is humming. And hello, folks. Welcome to the NFL Today, presented by Jeep. I'm James Brown, and if Boomer Esiason had me in practice, he would say, JB, you run sprints. That's not the way we rehearsed it. But anyway, folks, out of an abundance of caution, we have a little bit of a different look here today with myself and my colleague, Phil Simms, the video workout king, working from home. But the Hall of Fame coach himself, Bill Cowher, the multi-talented Nate Burleson, and of course, Mr. Multimedia Boomer Esiason are holding it down in the studio in 43. Fellas, I know you may not want it, but I can't wait to rejoin you guys along with Phil next week in the studio. But with this being week 15, there are just a couple more weeks left in the regular season, and the drama heightens down the stretch. So let the games begin. Baltimore and Miami stand on the opposite sides of the AFC playoff cut line as the Ravens, fresh off of their big win over the Browns, look to keep flying high against the Jags, that in an effort to overtake the Dolphins. They will be hosting the Dolphins, the Patriots in Miami. The Titans and Colts have been in a season-long battle for the top spot in the AFC South, and the title is still up for grabs as Tennessee takes on the Lions in Nashville, while Indy plays host to the Texans. And in the Big Easy, it will be anything but easy for the defenses of both squads as the Saints' Drew Brees triumphantly returns to the lineup just in time to face Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' top-ranked offense.
That's right, JB. And in the NFC, the second-place Saints could use a dub today to stay in the mix for that coveted first-round bye, currently owned by Green Bay, who stayed atop the NFC with their win last night versus the Panthers. Behind them, the other division leaders, the Rams and Washington. The first wildcard spot belongs to Seattle, who could clinch a berth with a win. The other 2 spots occupied by the Bucks and the Cardinals. On the outside, the Vikings and the Bears will meet today, looking for a chance to get in.
You know, and Nate, in the NFC East, Dallas sits in the last place, followed by Jalen Hurts-led Eagles, and Washington maintains a 1-game lead over New York. Now remember, the Giants own the tiebreaker, and it looks like both of the top 2 teams will be playing with their backup quarterbacks today.
You know, that's right, Coach. Because up in the AFC, the Chiefs are on top. They're the number 1 seed with the Steelers hoping for a chance to catch them. And they're obviously followed by Buffalo, who clinched the AFC East with their win last night over the Broncos. And Tennessee hopes to hold off Indy and stay at 4. The Browns and Colts have 2 of the wild card spots. The third belongs to Miami, which could be in trouble if Lamar and the Ravens continue to play the way that they did on Monday night.
Ravens at 7-5 are on the outside of the wild card looking in. Lamar Jackson, touchdown! Lamar Jackson, he cannot be stopped! Lamar Jackson had to go into the locker room. He was listed as questionable to return with cramps. And Trace McSorley is coming onto the field.
Holding on to his left knee, McSorley is injured. Lamar Jackson emerged from the locker room, 4th and 5 at the 2-minute warning, and they're down by 1.
Lob deep, Hollywood crowd! Oh, it's unbelievable! It is good! The Ravens with an unbelievable comeback.
You say that? Well, from my colleagues who played and coached the game there in the studio, they know full well it was a standout performance by Lamar on Monday night, playing like, well, a reigning MVP. And for more on the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, let's welcome in our other Hall of Famer. That would be James Lofton, who will be calling today's game. Hello, James.
Thanks so much, JB. And for the Hall of Fame information, I went to another Hall of Famer, Ozzie Newsome, the longtime general manager of the Baltimore Ravens. And Ozzie's been over some really important drafts. Think about some of the guys he's drafted. Ray Lewis, Jonathan Ogden, Ed Reed, all Hall of Famers. And throw in Terrell Suggs there, Defensive Player of the Year, and also a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Joe Flacco. But Ozzie told me that never before has the building erupted the way it did in 2018 when he used the 32nd pick, which he acquired from the Philadelphia Eagles, to draft Lamar Jackson. But Ozzie went on to say that he didn't want to take all the credit, didn't want to take any of the credit. He looks at Coach John Harbaugh, and he looks at the offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, and he says, they let Lamar Jackson be Lamar Jackson. He didn't have to be the next Joe Montana, Dan Marino, or even the next Phil Simms or Boomer Esiason. Just let him be Lamar Jackson, and that has been successful for them. And think about it, 4 or 5 years from now, teams will be looking for the next Lamar Jackson.
Wow, James. So he threw in our Boomer Esiason in that. And you and I both know that Ozzie Newsome is the most unselfish guy around. Hey, James, thanks for the insight and looking forward to your call of the game today. Coach Cowher, I know this is a gross understatement, but the Ravens need this game in order to catch Miami.
Well, they do, JB. And I think when you get to this time of the year, the thing you have to do is look at the schedules. And I think when you look at the Baltimore Ravens and who their remaining opponents are compared to the other people vying for that playoff spot, it bodes well. They had the weakest schedule of anybody out there. And I would also say from that standpoint, look at how they're playing. We talk about Lamar Jackson. All the questions that are out there about a month ago, is he overrated? He can't throw the ball down the field. And all of a sudden now he's got his mojo back.
Yep.
This team has now found their identity, got back to what they do best. It's run the football, play action, and play good defense. I like where they are right now going into the playoffs and trending in that way. If they get in there, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with.
They're definitely trending in the right direction, and people were asking if he's clutch. And he was. This was his moment. This was his Michael Jordan moment. Just give me the ball. Everybody get out of the way. There's two things we can count on when it comes to this Ravens offense, and that's Mark Andrews at tight end, their most consistent skill player, and then Lamar Jackson's legs. The fact that he just said, you know what? I know that this is my superpower. Let's see if you can stop me. And when he does that, I don't care how many times he throws the ball. This offense is dangerous. He's going to need to do that the rest of the season and in the playoffs.